Welcome back to our channel, guys. This is Mama.
And Papa. As you can tell by the title of this video, we are expecting.
Yes, 4 months to be exact.
Now you can literally see 2 lines.
I'm gonna be a papa!
These jeans don't even button up, and it's hard for me to bend over, and I feel bloated, and my boobs hurt. We have to do this video because we didn't really want to share. We were gonna keep it a secret. But 2 videos ago, you guys in the comments were like,
Yeah, the mamas knew.
pregnant,
Yeah.
glow, baby glow.
And it was hard for us because we were giggling as we were reading these comments because
Yeah.
we knew, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So we just thought it would be silly not to share with you guys because so far you've been on this little journey with us. You've gone through some vulnerable places already. So here we are with the new announcement that is huge.
It's
of course,
a big
it's
deal.
huge. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Some questions. Was this planned?
Funny enough, we were in Mexico and we were having the best time, and we weren't planning, but we were not planning.
Right.
So, but we did a manifestation at New Year's where we allowed ourselves to talk and expand our family.
To our family.
Funny enough, we were pregnant already.
We were already pregnant. So how did we find out we were pregnant?
We were back in Canada, we were quarantining, and you hadn't had your period.
Yeah.
However, we knew that your circle was inconsistent because this had happened in Sweden as well, where we thought you were pregnant and we did a test and you were not. So
This time I was like, I don't want to take it.
And I wasn't freaking out either. But then it came
You kept you're like, so when are you going to take this pregnancy test?
Yeah.
And then, it's funny because my brain was trying to reason its way out. Like, you're not pregnant. You're just late. But then my body...
You started getting pain.
My boobs were like, Trick, you pregnant. Like, they were throbbing. I woke up at night, like sore, like moving, like,
all these titties.
so sore. And then we took the pregnancy test, but it was so vague. It was like...
Yeah, we got one of those non-brand,
No
no-name pregnancy tests. You peed in the afternoon or the evening, which is apparently the best result. The more clear results is when you pee in the morning, first thing in the morning.
And I didn't wait for I think it was 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I just went, boop.
Yeah, and we did 2 of those.
We did 2 of
and
those.
they were positive, so...
I think there was a little bit of like, are we, aren't we? And then we went to Montreal and we did a 3rd one.
Yeah.
And then
And
it
that
was
was
like
clear,
very clear. It's official.
Is it done?
Now you can literally see 2 lines. What do you think, Papa?
I'm gonna be a papa! No. Do you know what it is? It's very, very, very hard for me to be like over the moon. I'm obviously so happy and grateful and blessed, but there are complications. There are possibilities. And I don't want to manifest any negative conclusions or any of that, but I am mindful of the consequences, and
We'll celebrate.
I celebrate
3rd month.
when this the 3rd month. But I know that Maya is going to be the best mom ever, and I'm just so grateful that I have such a beautiful partner who's not only my partner, she's my best friend, and she is the most beautiful inside and outside human being I ever come across. And to have a baby with this person, it's just...
We made a baby! We made a baby.
I think I had this romantic view of how I was going to react when it actually happens. But when it happens, there's so many thoughts going into your head. I was very radical, very cynical in a sense. I think because I was like, wait, there's so many other things to figure out here before I even celebrate. Celebration wasn't my initial...
It was though.
Okay, yeah.
The very first time we did the test and it said you're pregnant, we did a little victory dance.
We did a victory dance, yeah.
It was like this. But then, obviously, the brain kicks in.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Things can happen. I don't want to get too excited. The fear, all the uncertainty.
Yeah.
Even on my end. I was happy, but also, the brain is like, Don't get ahead of yourself now. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Which is very true. But nothing did happen. And I was like, I was also quietly really happy. So when we were in bed sleeping, I was like hand on belly, like,
Yeah.
hey, little one.
So I think it's important also to celebrate, because like a lot of people have said, a lot of parents have said it to us, is like, enjoy this time,
Yeah.
because once the child is born, you know, you look away and then they're 5 years old, and this is a very precious moment in our
Enjoy
life
the moment
that we should
while
enjoy
you're
it.
there,
So
because it goes so fast.
Yeah. With pregnancy, a lot of fears occurs, right? So what would you say was your biggest fears?
Yeah, the fear.
What are your biggest fears even now?
Okay, well, my first initial fear was miscarriages are very common. And so there's a part of my brain that was like, you can miscarry, don't get ahead of yourself. And there was another part of my brain that was, girl, you so good, you good. Like, you're so good. And so I've had that. But I would say maybe 3 months, I started getting these very like dark thoughts that I haven't had since high school, but like worst case scenario, not even worst case scenario, like horror scenarios happening. And I did not like that. But I think those are my fears, like where my thoughts go. And I'm such a positive person that I'm just like, where the heck are you coming from?
Yeah.
And my biggest fears, I guess, are still that, like we had mentioned before, what I don't like is that babies are like this unspoken beauty pageant. Like everyone on Instagram is like flashing around their babies and their cute little outfits and my cute baby and filters on babies. And that bothers me, because I'm like, well, what about the less than perfect baby?
Yeah. And also the pressure that you get from people telling you directly, like, oh, you're gonna have such a beautiful baby, as opposed to like praying for a healthy baby.
Yeah.
It's more anticipating that it will be a beautiful baby in a world that is already very superficial, and I don't want to put that on myself and that baby at such an early age. I appreciate that people can visualize something that we've created as something beautiful. Of course, I value that, but I don't want to
Make it
about that, right? So yeah, I can
What are your fears?
My fears was also like, I just want a baby that is healthy.
Yeah.
I don't want a baby that suffers. I don't necessarily believe that it needs to be a perfect baby. I think that there are babies who come out that are not by society, per definition, perfect. But I just want them to be healthy. And not suffer. So miscarriage was obviously something that I was scared of. Also, the uncertainty that you already know that we're all in now. As of now, we don't have a permanent residency for Maya, and we're on the run. We're not really in our base, and now we need our base more than ever.
We don't have a home.
We don't have our home,
which is
yet.
very annoying. When we actually own a home, but we don't have access to that home. So that is also an annoyance. But
other than that, I don't fear anything else. I think there was the society pressure on, like, I'm younger. Is there stuff that I wanted to achieve in my life before becoming a father? Like, am I getting too? Is this moving too fast for me? But I checked in with myself. I've done my reflections, and I've done so much in my life by myself, single. Now I get to expand the experiences with a partner and a family, and I couldn't be happier, honestly.
Which is a good segue into, since we've addressed our fears, what are our dreams? I really love the life that we've already created, which is being able to travel, being able to create, and being able to live life on our terms despite the world. So there's this notion that parents like settle down, they don't travel anymore, they like raise the kid and blah blah blah. I'm like, that's cute, but I don't want that, at least as of right now where I'm sitting. So I would hope that we can still continue to do road trips, explore this world, or at least Sweden, with our child. And I want to be friends. That's what I think I was missing in my childhood. So something beautiful that I saw was on the road trip from LA to Canada. I stopped in Utah, and there was a wife, husband, and two sons, and they were celebrating one of the sons' birthday. And I was like, this is so cute. Like, the son is celebrating his birthday, doing a road trip with their parents, and they're in the middle of the desert. And I'm like, I want a relationship similar to that, where we're friends with our kids, and but they still respect us as parents. But I want the adventure. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm very similar to what I want to. I think I could have had a slightly naive picture or dream first, where I was like, I want to go and travel everywhere with my child. I could live anywhere for a period of time and just move around. And then I have checked in with a lot of friends of mine who were brought up under those conditions, and they said that it's very tiring and it can be very exhausting for children to change environment. When they get to a certain age, they do want to be able to establish friends and so forth. So I have that in mind, which is great. But I also don't want to take away the experience as a family to maybe, you know, do a year in Namibia or whatever as a family. Like that's possible. So I think that's something I want to achieve as a, you know, as an adventurous experience for my family, but also a way for me as a father to educate my children in allowing them to see different places in the world.
With us.
With us.
Keyword, with us.
Yeah.
You go travel with us.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I really look forward to. Delivery plans.
Good subject.
I've been reading, but even before I've been reading, I've always imagined giving birth at home. And I remember this was a conversation. It was I think a little bit of a shock to you. But for me, I don't like the medical system unless I need it. If I can avoid doctors, hospitals, I will. I'll do everything to avoid it. And so the idea of giving birth in a hospital just didn't resonate with me, especially from the experiences my family members have had in hospitals. Living in the US, it's very traumatizing. And I think I had to have a change of heart when Max is very pro hospitals. And then I was like, you know what, before you start judging things, look into it. And the Swedish medical system is one of the highest across the board, especially when it comes to delivery. So the maternity ward, they have the lowest mortality rates across countries. They're very safe. Midwives are the ones who call the shots. Even in hospitals, you don't get a doctor unless you are high risk or unless you have problems. But for me, I am choosing a home birth until further notice. And I like the idea of being in my own space with my own smells and my comfort zone. And
so from like in the end of the day, I'm not the one squeezing out a baby out of my own body, you know. But I feel like I have the right as a father to at least express how I feel. And my initial thoughts and my initial feeling wasn't 100% good until I did my own research, until I realized that, you know, countries like Holland, it's very common with home birth. And then even in Canada, they asked us when we went for our first checkup that, are you going to do home birth or a hospital birth? That the fact that was even an option made me realize. And then I did the research, and it's known. There's no numbers or there's no big concerns regarding home birth. It's just that if something's happened, you have to go to the hospital. Yeah. And we're aware that, and Maya's not going to be stubborn. If the midwife tells her you have to go, she's not going to be like, no, I'm doing it anyway. She will do it, right? Yeah. And for me, I know also that if you're not in line with yourself, with like the process is going to be way more complicated than it is if you feel comfortable and safe in your home. Yeah. So, and that's a holistic view that we both share. Yeah. As a value, like we weigh that in a lot when we discuss these things, right? It's very important for me now to be supportive in this and not be hesitant about it, because she will feel it on the day of delivery. You will feel, if anyone is like reluctant to be in there or not supported, she will feel it, and that will have an effect on the delivery. So Yeah, that's the most important that you feel.
Oh, speaking of deliveries, books that we're reading.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know if it's Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. This is very eye-opening. She opens with a lot of birthing stories, like a lot. I read half of them before I just skipped into the intro of the book. I love the information in here. She's addressing things like sphincter law, which is basically talking about how the orifices in your body, your mouth, your butt, your vagina, when you are stressed and tense, how that will close and lock up. So you could be dilated, 8 centimeters, and then something happens causing you to be like, bitch, we ain't doing this right now. Back all the way down. So it's important for me to understand on a conscious level, even though I understand this subconsciously, on how vibrations, energy affect my ability to be relaxed. Because if I'm not relaxed, that shit's gonna be tight and no baby's coming out. Unless I go for like emergency C-section or whatever the case is, induction, all that stuff. But I really enjoy this book. And I posted on Instagram and you guys suggested You suggested a bunch of other books I should look into, which I have been screenshotting.
Great.
What are you reading?
So I got this book.
So good.
We're
My
pregnant.
friend.
Yeah. So Maya's friend, my
Tina.
friend too, Tina, sent this book to me, and it came at the most perfect timing, because as a dad in a pregnancy process, and this is something that I speak to my friends and I've seen online, is a common issue for dads in their pregnancy, especially first time dads, is that you feel super confused because there's not really anything happening with me.
Yeah.
So it's super hard. I'm speaking for myself now. I'm not going to generalize. It was super hard for me to relate because
it's not happening to you.
Physically, nothing is happening to me. So I felt like I was useless. I felt like I wasn't helping. I didn't know what I could do in order to contribute. And then I got this book, and it's more or less made for people in that state, because it's clarifying a lot of things, what's happening with Maya on a basic level, but also showing you what you can do in order to feel like you're part of this process. Yeah, so this book actually talks about what you can do. Like, if I feel like it's hard for me to relate to our body, then put the things that are good for the baby into your mom, because a healthy mom is a healthy baby, and that's an achievement that I can feel like I'm contributing to.
It's not a picture book. It's
no, it looks like it is.
It actually has.
So it breaks down from.
You actually know more about what's happening to my body than I do, because I didn't download. I deleted those apps on like this is where your baby's at. So Max is saying like, oh, our baby's the size of a pear now. And
so and then your uterus is as big as a papaya. But like, so it's so funny. So it goes through the 4th month here, and then in the end of each chapter, each trimester, it gives you like baby stats, mom stats, and not to miss appointments, family goals, like conversations to have.
It's so good.
It's like stress reducers. So it's based on what you can do as a dad. It gave me the suggestion to book like maternal massage for your wife.
Yeah, he's the one who looked into prenatal massages, and I'm like, what?
And I'm like, I would never have thought about that myself if I hadn't done that. Like, and it sounds like ignorant, but like, it's so much things happening that so grateful. So thank you, Tina, and thank you, Adrian Culp. Great guy.
Yeah, so I would say maybe these are the two combos. Even if you plan on having a hospital birth, it still gives you information on what you can advocate to have less intervention and more control of your pregnancy, because the stories I hear of women in the delivery room is just like, it goes so quickly you don't have time to think, because you have a watermelon coming out of your vagina. So the doctors are like pushing and you're like, okay, whatever. But I do think midwives, doulas, and even firsthand knowledge and access to information is helpful. So those are two really good books.
Yeah.
So you excited?
I am super excited. Of course I am. Again, I'm a bit like, reserved, because I just want to focus on keeping the mama healthy and happy, and then get back to Sweden, hopefully, sooner than later.
Who's going to be the good? I think I'm going to be the bad cop. he's gonna be the good cop.
Yeah, 100%. That goes out without saying.
Wouldn't it be funny if I became the good cop? And
Yeah.
like that'd be so
It
unexpected.
could. I think there's so many things that are unpredictable. So.
Yeah.
So I am super excited. I hope you all are praying for us to get back to Sweden. We are every
And a
day.
healthy baby.
Healthy baby. And together we're so excited to expand our family and to keep creating as we do, but on a whole new level, I'd say.
Oh, that brings me to my next question. How are we gonna create as parents with a child?
Yeah.
Are we gonna be that couple that does or doesn't share that area in our life?
Well, I've already felt prior becoming a parent that I was a bit skeptical to posting my child and showing them online without them knowing that what's going on. And there are also rules and laws in Sweden that you're not allowed to use your child as an influencer. So there's
really?
laws that have been passed that I don't know in theory what that means.
Right.
But I think that's a healthy necessary thing, because there's a lot of people who uses their child for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, I don't know how I'll feel when I actually have a creature that I made, that we made in my hand. Like, of course I might want to share that.
The initial thought is we don't want to.
Yeah.
That's initially, like, we want to keep some areas of our life private, and that would be one of them. But again, to your point, when you're holding this little thing that's so freaking cute, you're gonna be like, you going on Instagram?
Yeah.
So are you open to that?
Yeah, I'm open to it. I don't want to be stubborn. I think that,
Oh, okay. This is new to me.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I think I said this to you when you asked me the other day, because I was saying, like, I don't know how it's gonna feel like when I actually have my own child in my arms. I don't want to share that.
I feel the same sentiments.
I might not want to
make it my identity.
I did say to my friend, if you see me post my baby every day on social media, like, tell me. Because that's a value that I have now that I felt like it was triggering to me before. I still think that we can share our experiences and our stories without making it about our baby. I think the baby will always be an element that defines where we are in our life, but we don't have to shove it up in
like
their
Jackie.
camera. Yeah, like Jackie is there, and when it makes sense to have Jackie, and she's there.
What are you open to? What information do you need help with that they can provide?
Oh yeah, this is good. I really want to. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm open to podcasts and YouTube videos. So if you have links to that, let me know in the comments below. I can only read so many books. I think I'm gonna cap it off at like this is a thick read. I'll read maybe one or two lighter reads. So if you have book recommendations that aren't huge novels, let me know.
I also would be really interested if there's anyone in Sweden that are watching this video that knows midwives or people or couple who've gone through home birth deliveries or other experiences. Maybe even more specific, people who have been in my position where you've been slightly hesitant towards it, but then come across other information that made them feel more at ease. Although I feel very much at ease, it would be interesting to just read that story. Yeah, put that in the comments below, and we have another few videos coming out, so don't worry, we got you guys. It's so much fun.
Turn your notifications on so you know when we upload a new video.
Yes.
Vi ses snart, Sverige.
Vi ses snart.
Hej då.
Hej då. Tack så mycket.
Like in person? But it feels like I feel so full.